All right, let's get into it. Today, we're doing something really cool. We're building, from scratch, your very own VMware ESXi host. Seriously, this is the bedrock, the foundation for your private cloud, your home lab, your entire virtual world. So let's get our hands dirty and start building. So, have you ever wanted to build your own private cloud? Or maybe just a really powerful home lab? Well, guess what? This is where it all starts. I want you to think of yourself as an architect right now. And this ESXi host, that's your cornerstone.
And you know what the best part is? This isn't some crazy all-day project. Nope. In just about 5 minutes, we are going to lay down the absolute foundation for a pro-level virtual environment. So first things first, let's look at the blueprint.
Okay, section 1, your virtualization blueprint. You wouldn't build a house without a plan, right? Same thing here. Before we even think about touching a file, let's get a clear picture of what we're actually building and why it's so incredibly important.
So let's break it down. What is VMware ESXi? Well, it's what's called a Type 1 hypervisor, which I know sounds super technical, but really it's just a fancy way of saying it's an operating system built for one single purpose, running other operating systems. It installs right onto the bare metal, the physical hardware of your server. And this is the magic part. It turns that one physical box into a powerhouse that can host tons of virtual machines. It is literally the bedrock. Everything else you do is going to rest on top of this.
All right, our blueprint is solid. Now it's time to gather our materials. Just like any good builder, having all your tools and supplies ready to go before you start makes the whole process so much smoother.
So here's what you're going to need. It's pretty simple. First, a compatible server or PC. Then, a USB drive. At least 8 gigs is good. You'll need the ESXi ISO image, which, don't worry, we're about to grab that. An internet connection, of course, and just for the initial setup, a keyboard and a monitor. That's the whole list. Easy enough, right?
Okay, on to section 3. Now we're going to forge the installer key. Think of it like this. We're taking that digital ISO file we downloaded and turning it into a physical key, our bootable USB drive. This is the master key that's going to unlock our server and kick off the whole installation. Step 1 is easy. Get the raw material. All you got to do is head over to VMware's website. You'll sign in, or you can create a free account, no big deal. Then you just find the ESXi downloads, pick the version you want, and boom, download that ISO file right to your computer.
Okay, so now we have the file. Let's bring it to life. We're going to use a super simple tool, something like Rufus. Just plug your USB drive into your computer, open up the tool, and tell it where to find that ESXi ISO you just downloaded. Then you just click Start. That's literally it. The software handles everything, transforming that plain old USB stick into our powerful, bootable installer.
Our key is forged. Our materials are ready. Now it is time for the main event, the installation ritual. This is just a series of really simple, guided steps that are going to breathe life into our server and officially create our brand new ESXi host. Let's do it.
So here's the roadmap, the entire path from start to finish. First, we boot from that USB we just made. Then, we'll accept the license agreement, just hit F11. Next, and this is important, we'll pick the disk to install on. Then we set that super important root password, confirm the installation with another F11, and finally, we reboot. See? A nice, clear, straightforward path.
Okay, I really need you to pay attention to this next step because it is crucial. The installer is going to show you a list of all the drives it can see. You have to pick the right one. Here's the key. Do not install it on your USB drive. That's just the tool we're using. You need to select the permanent home for ESXi, your SSD, your hard drive, whatever it is. That's the foundation.
After you pick the drive, you'll set the root password. And look, this is not just any password. This is the password. It's the master key to your entire virtual kingdom. It gives you total, complete administrative control over everything. So please make it a strong one and guard it with your life.
And just like that, we're pretty much done. The build is complete. After one final reboot, we are ready for the best part, the really rewarding part, getting the keys to our new digital space and stepping inside for the very first time.
So once the system restarts, you're going to see this screen pop up. This is the Direct Console User Interface, or the DCUI for short. And when you see this classic gray and yellow screen, that's it. That's the moment. It means you did it. Your ESXi host is officially alive and running. Now take a close look at that screen. You'll see it's displaying an IP address, probably a string of numbers. I want you to think of that as the unique street address for your brand new host. That's how you're going to visit it, how you're going to manage it from any other computer on your network.
All right, it's time to walk through the front door. Go to any other computer on your network, open up a web browser, and just type in that IP address you saw on the screen. You'll get a login prompt. The username is just root, and the password is that master password you just created a few minutes ago. Hit enter, and you are in.
And there it is. Your foundation is laid, the structure is rock solid, and you are officially standing inside your very own virtual data center. You're ready to start building whatever comes next. So the only question I have for you is, what are you going to create first?